Good morning. Hey. I'll keep it light today. You could call this expanding horizons, but it's a mindset. It's a mindset that I was kind of raised with, instilled. Okay? We're all different people. It takes a village to raise us all individually, collectively, and otherwise. I've heard the term colorblind before. Well, we just don't see color. Okay, that's fine. But the fact that you need to say it kind of destroys that theory. Not that you don't. But the whole point also is, whenever I hear that, I go, okay, but when someone says a person is black, or a person is Chinese, or a person is Italian, or a person is whatever they are, if they're doing a descriptive, okay, that's what it is. It's a descriptive. And that's one of the things I was taught, that you can tell somebody to go get somebody in the other room of 100 people, all guys, let's say, and you need to go get them, tell them to go get Bob. They're going to need something to go from. I don't want you to go yell out, hey, Bob. I want you to go and single them out for me and bring them in here. They're going to need some kind of descriptive. Okay? We all see descriptive. You can't help but. Okay? Just as white see black, black see white. Or whatever. Colored, whatever, the terminology is there. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have a bias, or doesn't mean that you have anything against it. The other thing is to be totally without discrimination. We're all a village. We're all people. Okay? If you are going to raise awareness for your own cause, for your own special label that you are affiliated with, okay? I kind of get that. That is a civil rights situation. But let's be real. Okay, when you're bringing me into your realm, it's just like if I brought you into mine. Okay, I would have the wherewithal and the smarts to understand that there may be points you don't like about my life. There may be points about my existence that you have an issue with. Or not. Okay? And I bring this up because of like the big one for the past, it's been past my lifetime. Like on the gay pride. That's fine. If that's who you are and whatever. You know what? I personally don't care who you sleep with, who you have sex with, and who you love. Doesn't matter to me. If I was in hot pursuit of you, okay, it might play into that. But otherwise than that, Accept people for who they are. Okay? But if I'm going to raise awareness about myself, or a label that I am and that I choose to define myself with, I would totally expect some people to be either turned on or turned off by it. Okay? This is part of the expanding horizons thing. Being able to see beyond what we've accepted as norms. We've accepted labels as norms. Okay? I see a person with long hair. Yeah, they got long hair now, but later on in life, they may not have hair. This I know personally. Okay? Take a pair of scissors, they don't have hair anymore. Okay? We're all just people. And when you learn to see that and deal with people that way, we all have our own little, what I call quirks about us. Does it define you? No, it doesn't define you. It characterizes you as part of your character. No different than a person that has a lisp in their talk, no different than a person with a different hair color, or a person that is small or short or fat or tall, or, it's something that characterizes you. It doesn't define you. You shouldn't, we've gotten in this thing that we've needed to be defined by a label. Well, I tell you what, you run into a little bit of a problem there. Okay? Case in point, there's a huge generation right now that are grappling on a political end of things because they've been raised with the label of definition. And unfortunately, that descriptive of what that definition is has changed on them. And they do not know how to handle it. Okay? I'll say it. I'll point blank say it. Like the Republican Party is not the Republican Party it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Okay? It's because generations change. It's because people change just over their own lifetime. What defined you in your 20s is not going to define you in your 50s. Okay? We need to wrap our heads around the human experience. We need to wrap our heads around who am I talking to right now as I'm dealing with a person. And enjoy that moment that I'm with them right now. Okay? And if they're doing unto others as they would have done to you, as it says, then everything should be fine. But if they're pushing something down your throat or doing harm to you, well, then that's what laws are for. Then that's what that's when we have a problem. Okay? That's when a bully or a pushy or arrogance or whatever is trying to flex its muscle and make you submissive to them. Okay? It's okay if you're a passive person. It's okay if you're a bold person. Okay? But it doesn't mean that you infiltrate the other people around you with that. Okay? That's just part of your character. It doesn't define you. There's going to be times that you need to have it in check. That you're going to learn to have it in check for whatever reason. Now we're talking about an introspective level. So, in closing, I'll try to wrap this up. Ditch the labels. I pray for the day that we can ditch the labels. Okay? I pray for the day that I'm not having to talk to a person and worry about if all of a sudden their label is going to come bashing out on me, or that they can't carry on a conversation about anything because of that. And that's what I pray for. Because when you get to that point, then we start seeing what civil rights really are. We wouldn't have to be pushing the civil right fact if all of us would learn to get the fuck along. If all of us would just understand that you're talking to another person, another human that's gone through different experience than you, that's been raised differently, or that's been raised similar, but for whatever reason they have this going on or that going on. And understand that in your own life, things can change in a heartbeat. Literally. You could end up with some disorder, some disease, an accident could befall you, and it would change your whole course of your living in a heartbeat. Just like going back to that talk about cutting hair. Is it what defines you? No. The way that you love other people, the way that you handle other people, the way that you handle yourself with other people, that's what defines you. Can you tolerate other people? Can you handle that? If you have any time to keep yourself in check on these things, do it. Because that is what's most important in life. Okay? I got nothing but love for you. And hope that you have a beautiful weekend. We're shaping up to be one here. 90? Right on. Bring it on. Got nothing but love. Have a good one.